If you're here for some silver linings, you've come to the wrong place because you're going to find none of that tonight. I'm not going to give any silver linings. There are no silver linings to be had in what is the latest loss of a series of embarrassing and intolerable losses in just this early part of the 2021-2022 NBA season for the Boston Celtics. This is the worst one yet. This game went from what would have been the Celtics' best win of the season to what's easily their worst loss of the season. That includes the home opener where they got clobbered by the mediocre Toronto Raptors. I know Raptors fans get very upset when I say the team is mediocre. That's just a fact. They are. But the Celtics are worse than mediocre. They're downright bad. They're downright rotten. And worse than that, they're unlikable. They have nothing internally that makes them a team that you want to root for or want to watch play basketball. They don't play hard consistently. They don't play as a team. They play as a group. There's just a bunch of individuals. They don't play smart basketball. They don't play with any sort of sense of pride or urgency. They give up big leads, like you saw tonight. They start out slow. They play bad defense. They play dumb offense. There's nothing to enjoy or get behind when it comes to this team. The coaching has been bad. The players have been inconsistent to bad. No one on this team seems to have a good attitude in terms of how to actually make changes. It just seems like a bunch of lip service. Like we're getting close. We're coming. They're not close. This team sucks. They're gonna keep sucking. There's something I said this the other day. There's something rotten at this team's core. And tonight's loss, I hope, opens everybody's eyes to the fact that you're never going to win anything with this team of significance the way it's constructed. You're never going to win anything of significance with Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown as the two pillars of your franchise. That ship has sailed. I know they're both young. It's over with. You cannot, if you want to compete for a title, this cannot be the building blocks for that team. Period. I don't care if you say it's early in the season, if you say those guys are young, they can get better. I've watched basketball for a long time. I'm not the expert on it by any means, but I've seen enough of teams that win and know what a winning team looks like and know how it's constructed. And this isn't it. It's not going to be like, oh, a couple of years. It's Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown's time to take over the East. No, they the team keeps getting worse and worse, and something is inherently wrong with the franchise. I'm saying you need like they need a full-on exorcism. No one's job should be safe. I know Imi Udoka is only a couple games into his career. His job shouldn't be considered completely safe because he's done a horrible job. Letting something like this tonight happen is inexcusable. None of the players, including Jason Tatum or Jaylen Brown, should feel like their job on the team is safe. That they should be able to be traded at any moment if a good offer comes along. There's just no reason to continue on this path. It's a path of misery. It's a path of frustration. It's a path that has the fans turning on the team, has the fans booing at home games, leaving home games because the team's putting out no effort. It's going to be a path that leads to horrible television ratings, poor attendance at home games. It's not a tenable way to go forward. So I would say to you, Wick Grousbeck, and the rest of the Celtics owners, if you're not going to do something about this and actually put your foot down and make some serious changes to the team, I'm not saying make little minor cosmetic changes and have cute jerseys for the 75th anniversary, or have Imi Udoka say, we're going to work on this, work on that, and maybe bring in another complimentary role player. I'm saying no, shake something up, take a big swing, move Jason Tatum, uh, move Jaylen Brown, uh, either get a player return, get a bunch of draft picks, start from scratch. I'm sick of it. This is not an okay way to go. I do not want to be in the NBA bottom the middle territory. This is the worst place to be. They're not bad enough to be getting that top sort of pick, and they're not nearly good enough to be competing. They're going to be on the fringe of making the playoffs. That's not an acceptable position for the Boston Celtics to be in, and they've been in this position for too long, and it's been trending this way for too long. The owners need to wake the fuck up and realize what's happening. It's a team that's demoralized. It's a fan base that's rapidly turning and getting more demoralized. And the Celtics fan base is the most optimistic of optimistic fan bases, always finding a silver lining, always making excuses. And finally, with this loss, I'm starting to see those same people on Twitter or on Reddit who are constantly defending the team, even in the face of losing to Toronto by 20 in the home opener or blowing another double overtime game. It's always saying, well, this excuse for this excuse for that. We still have Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown, two young all-stars. finally some, not all, some of those people are coming around and saying, okay, something's really wrong with this team. Something is internally wrong. It's not a gelling issue. It's not a new coach issue. There is something just dirty and rotten and wrong inside the Celtics organization that they have no motivation to play well as a team and no ability to do so. So they need to make some big changes. I don't care if it's trading away Jason Tatum or Jaylen Brown for and completely hitting the reset button, or if it's trying to trade those guys for another equivalent type player and seeing if a different mix of guys gets it to go. But they need to pick a direction and swing. Don't do this. Do not stand pat with what you have here. This will not work. They could play better than this. I'm not saying they can't play better than this, obviously, but it's never going to be close to good enough. So take this game and what's happened this so far this season as a lesson and as the impetus to make some big changes with this team, because you cannot go on like this. You're going to lose every single fan that wants to buy a ticket. I mean, I'm going to be a Celtics fan for life, but I'm saying I'm disgusted with this team. I do not like this team. This team is making it impossible to root for them. And the honk of Celtics honk. I have so much Celtics clothing and paraphernalia and posters. Like, I mean, seriously, it fills up my whole freaking house. And I'm embarrassed to look at any of it right now. I mean, really, it's part of my identity. And I'm sick of this team. This team makes me want to puke. Tonight's loss was just the latest in a long string of downward trending that's been happening for this team. And so I hope I'm gonna say my prayers and cross my fingers tonight that Wick Grousbeck and Brad Stevens wake up tomorrow and either say, "Hey, we're selling the team to somebody who actually gives a shit about what's going on here," or Brad Stevens says, "I'm stepping down. I'm going to let somebody who actually knows what they're doing take over," or those guys say, "You know what? We're going to take this seriously and actually make some big changes. We're going to, trade one of our star players and we're going to bring in a new mix of something. And we're going to talk to Coach Udoka and see if he can actually handle this job or if he's in over his head, because something needs to be done. Stop going this course. It is steering straight into an iceberg. I mean, literally, that is what's happening right now is a sinking ship, and the Celtics are doing nothing but taking on water and making it worse. So I am hoping that tonight's embarrassment of a loss is finally the final nail in the coffin of going this direction with Tatum and Brown as your pillars and Grousbeck taking this passe rollers ownership and Brad Stevens and Udoka seemingly not knowing what they're doing. Please let this be the eye-opening thing. Let's get into the box score before I get out of here. That's almost 8 minutes straight of just shredding the team. I think that's sufficient for now. I like most of you who are watching or listening. If you're a Celtics fan and anybody who's on social media, just so frustrated and fed up with how crappy this team looks and plays, and is just not representative of teams you expect from the Boston Celtics to be putting out on the floor. Okay, so they finally lose this one, 128 to 114. Especially embarrassing considering, again, they had an 18-point lead. And they end up getting blown out in this game. Outscored in the fourth quarter, 39 to 11. 39 to 11 in the fourth quarter. One of the single worst quarters in Celtics history that I can remember. That's saying something. That's 75 years of history. And on the 75th anniversary of the NBA, which was actually today, the Celtics decided to play one of their, if not their worst quarter in the franchise history. Just shows you how crappy this team is. Again, going to keep ripping them. Celtics fall to 2-5. Bulls improve to 6-1. Your starters tonight for the Celtics: Jason Tatum, Al Horford, Rob Williams, Marcus Smart, Jaylen Brown. Yeah, that's right. They were all healthy too. Celtics, nobody on the injury report tonight. Didn't make a lick of difference. Jason Tatum, 36 minutes. Not a good shooting night for him. 8 of 22 from the floor. 1 of 4 from 3. 3 of 4 from the free throw line. 4 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 steals, and 20 points. And a great minus 24 rating on the night. Nice job by who's supposed to be your team best player. Good job, Jason Tatum. Al Horford, credit to Al Horford. He played well tonight. 33 minutes, and he's probably been the best Celtic. The 78-year-old Al Horford is the best player on the team, most consistent player. That's not a good sign. 33 minutes for Al Horford, 8 of 15 from the floor, 3 of 7 from 3, 1 of 1 from the free throw line, 10 boards, 3 assists, a steal, a block, and 20 points for Big Al. Rob Williams did not play well in his return. 3 of 6 shooting in 24 minutes. just 5 rebounds for him, 1 assist, no block, 6 points. So not contributing on the boards, not contributing with blocking shots, then what kind of good are you on the court? Rob Williams for tonight. Marcus Smart played pretty well actually in his return to action, 33 minutes, 5 of 11 from the floor, 3 of 5 from 3, 4 steals for Marcus, a rebound, 16 points. A number I do want to point out is no assists. He's a starting point guard tonight, 0 assists for Marcus Smart. That is not good. That means the ball is not moving. That means he's not doing his job. So despite shooting well and getting the 4 steals, 0 assists is an alarming number for Marcus Smart, who I also think should be traded. There's no one, let me rephrase. There's nobody on the team that shouldn't be traded. Anybody should be available. Anybody. Not a single player should be off limits, period. Jaylen Brown, 34 minutes for Jaylen. Good night for him. Statistically, it wasn't a good night for anybody. 10 of 18 from the floor, 5 of 8 from 3, 3 of 4 from the free throw line, 7 rebounds, 3 assists, a steal, and 28 points for Jaylen Brown. Everybody except for Jabari Parker and Enes Kanter got playing time tonight. Why Parker didn't play, I'm not sure, because he's been playing well. Who the hell knows? Grant Williams, no points in 12 minutes. Dennis Schroeder, 13 points in 21 minutes. So didn't shoot particularly well. 3 of 10 from the floor, 2 of 4 from 3, 5 of 6 from the free throw line. He had 5 assists, though, so at least he played his position correctly. Peyton Pritchard, no points in 7 minutes. Josh Richardson finally got it right. 25 minutes, 3-7 from the floor, 1 of 4 from 3, 7 points for him. Romeo Langford, 11 minutes, 4 points. Not much to write home about on the bench. And all of that combined for the Celtics' worst loss of the season in terms of aesthetically and morale-wise, just a back-breaking loss. Last game was a back-breaking loss. This team is in shambles. There's nothing to like about them. There's nothing to like about the ownership, nothing to like about the management, nothing to like about the coaching, nothing to like about the players, nothing to like about the hot dog vendors or the ushers or the people who sweep the floor. The whole franchise is garbage right now. And that is a lifelong Celtics fan who lives and breathes Boston Celtics basketball telling you that. That is just the truth. That is not somebody who is a downer. That is somebody who is typically pretty optimistic about the Celtics. I know it's weird for me to say that. If you watch the show, usually I'm pretty pessimistic, but that's the type of basketball that they've been putting on since I've been doing this. I'm going to be always try to be honest with you. This team sucks. There's something truly rotten inside of the organization in terms of a chemistry or fit or whatever. They need to exercise the demons and start again. Start again. It was nice to have the 2 young all-stars and think that the Celtics were going to rule the East for a while. That didn't happen. Stop, Celtics fans and management and ownership and players and coaching deluding yourselves into thinking this team is anything but a middling to bottom Eastern Conference team. That's just a fact. That's what they are. Accept it. Try to get out of it by taking some big swings. No one can fall. If you take a big swing and you fail, you're not in any worse position than you are right now. Just give it a shot. Get out of this situation however you can. That's my best advice to you as a lifelong fan, as someone who watches every game and has watched every game for damn near 30 years. That's my best possible advice for you. So hopefully they listen to me. I'm sure you guys are as frustrated as I am, or maybe you're watching and you're a fan of the Bulls. Congratulations to you, Bulls fans, because you played a heck of a game to come back and win. And you look really good this season. Or if you're a fan who hates the Celtics, you're probably watching this and enjoying this. Hats off to you. Schadenfreude is a real thing in sports. You know, I am happy when the Lakers struggle or the Yankees struggle or the Giants or the Jets or what have you when they don't play well. So, you know, revel in this. The Celtics are a joke of a franchise right now. And if I was a fan of a rival team, I would be pretty happy about it because this is ugly. And until the organization actually does something they haven't done before, which is be bold, uh, it's not going to change. So get used to being disappointed and angry and sick to your stomach because I don't expect things to change. But if they have any shred of basketball acumen amongst everybody there at TD Garden and the Auerbach Center, they'll do something big. Needs to be done. All right. This crap team is back in action on Wednesday. I will be here to probably rip on them again. Even if they win that game, it's not going to mean much because overall, like I told you, this is not a good team and they will always revert back to that. So That's all I got for you tonight, and I'm gonna go wallow in my misery. All right, see you, everybody.